Misjudging the enemy. American soldiers, according to Japanese assessments, were the opposite of everything Japan valued. They came from a comfortable, materialistic society. They valued individual survival over collective honor. They would not endure hardship. They would not fight to the death. They would break. Early victories reinforced this belief. Western forces collapsed across Southeast Asia. Entire garrisons surrendered. Strongholds fell faster than anyone expected. Japanese officers took these results as proof. They did not see warning signs. They saw confirmation. The U.S. Marine Corps, in particular, was dismissed as irrelevant, a small force with outdated equipment and no real combat experience. To Japanese planners, the Marines were guards and policemen pretending to be warriors. They were wrong. A new kind of enemy. What Japanese intelligence failed to understand was how much the Marine Corps had changed before the war. During the years of neglect between global conflicts, Marine officers had quietly prepared for a different kind of war. They developed doctrines for amphibious assaults. They trained small units to operate independently. They emphasized initiative, adaptability, and relentless aggression. Most importantly, they built a culture where even the youngest Marines were expected to think, lead, and fight under chaos. This culture would matter more than any weapon. The island campaign begins. When American forces landed on a remote Pacific island to seize an unfinished airstrip, they did so with limited preparation and even less support. Their naval protection withdrew too early, leaving them short of supplies, ammunition, and equipment. Disease spread faster than bullets. Food was scarce. Reinforcements were uncertain. But the Marines dug in. They fortified a defensive perimeter and prepared for the counterattack they knew was coming. Colonel Takeda arrived with his advance force soon after. He had been ordered to wait for reinforcements. He ignored the command. Why wait? Against Marines, he believed, a single regiment would be more than enough. The night everything changed. Under cover of darkness, Takeda ordered his men forward. They advanced screaming battle cries, bayonets fixed, convinced that the enemy would flee as others had before. They ran straight into prepared positions. Machine guns erupted. Artillery slammed into tightly packed formations. Rifle fire cut down entire waves. The Marines did not retreat. They did not panic. They did not collapse. They fought back with discipline and precision. One wounded Marine, blinded by an explosion, continued firing his weapon by sound alone, guided by a fellow Marine shouting directions through the chaos. By morning, the ground was covered with bodies. The Japanese assault had failed completely. The cost of belief. When daylight came, Marine units counterattacked. Tanks rolled through palm groves. Survivors were hunted down. Few escaped. Out of nearly 1,000 attackers, only a handful survived. Marine losses were minimal by comparison. Colonel Takeda destroyed his unit's colors before dying, either in combat or by his own hand. His failure was too great to survive. Japanese commanders refused to accept the truth. The Marines could not be responsible. The doctrine could not be wrong. The solution, they decided, was simple. Send more men. Repeating the mistake. A second offensive followed. Then a third. Veteran divisions. More artillery. More planning. Each time, Japanese forces attacked with courage and determination. Each time, they were stopped. Night assaults failed. Flanking maneuvers collapsed. Entire units vanished into jungle and fire. Marine positions bent, but did not break. At one ridge overlooking the airfield, fighting reached a level of violence that stunned both sides. Marines fought hand-to-hand, calling artillery down on their own positions rather than retreat. When the attacks finally ended, the jungle was silent, except for the wounded. The myth dies. Japanese leadership still could not face reality. Admitting the Marines were equals, or worse, superior, was unthinkable. Officers blamed terrain, weather, logistics, subordinates. But the truth was unavoidable. The Americans did not lack spirit. They did not lack discipline. They did not fear death. They simply fought differently, and effectively. By the time the campaign ended, the cost was irreversible. Japan had lost tens of thousands of irreplaceable soldiers. The belief that Americans could not fight had been buried beneath the soil of a forgotten island. Legacy. That island became a turning point. Not because of territory, not because of strategy, but because it destroyed a dangerous illusion. From that moment on, Japan would fight an enemy it no longer underestimated, but could no longer defeat. And the Marines had proven something to the world. They were not soft. They were not weak. And they were very, very hard to kill.